Oh, wait a mother-loving minute. I hear Trump and old Obama talking. Let's see what else coming on in here.
It's obviously one Clinton serving, the other running. And this extended
Talking to the ops
conversation
there,
between
Barack.
Donald Trump and Barack Obama, just so fascinating, especially when you think about how some of the things that Donald Trump said and did while Obama was president, while your point is taken, they didn't run against each other.
And what he said about him.
Incredibly personal.
Yeah, he claimed he wasn't an American citizen.
Oh, there go Kamala.
Of course, as
when Kamala comes in the room, Vice President Harris and Doug Emhoff.
She ain't gonna go by Donald Trump or Barack.
Harris is right behind President Biden in her motorcade, so obviously we should expect to see him soon as well. And as we know,
so by the way, it's been a weird interaction between all the presidents, right? So George Bush walks right by Obama, walks right by Trump. Hillary Clinton, old Bill Clinton, you know, Mr. Lewinsky, he goes around everybody. And then Kamala Harris walks in. She doesn't acknowledge anybody. Not even old Barry, you know, Barry who tanked her whole campaign. This is going to be interesting. My first time reaction, I promise.
No, we're thinking as Gerald Ford's son is going to be reading his words, his eulogy for President Carter here. I was thinking this morning,
why Barack look at her like that?
His eulogy.
Let me put y'all on full
President
screen.
Carter here. I was thinking this morning, you know,
look how Barack looked at her.
His eulogy as so obviously we should
she
expect
comes
to see
in
him soon as well.
Doesn't look
and as
back.
We know, we're thinking as Gerald Ford's son is going to be reading his words, his eulogy for President Carter here.
Nasty work. Ooh, that is some nasty work right there. Ooh, sensational. Barack did all that working on her campaign. She walks into the funeral and she doesn't even acknowledge him. That's some nasty work right there, Kamala. That's nasty work. You just use that man up. And Barack looking at her. Look at Barack looking at her.
I was thinking this morning, you know, about
this
how
chick right
Gerald
here.
Ford and Jimmy Carter both in a way had President Nixon to thank.
And he went to talk it back to Trump.
And to look at this rare club here, known as
he went to Trump. Look, listen, Donald, look at this. Look at this old thought. I helped this thought out here. Look at this thought. I bet you that's what what Barack said to her. Like, look at this old grateful heifer here. I helped her out. She didn't went into debt and think it's my fault. I tried to help her. The black people didn't like her. And look at Trump. I tried to tell you. I can tell you right now, Trump is a person you do not want to ever win a game because he's always going to have this sarcastic thing to say.
Is the President's Club. So many of the trajectories of their presidencies is what led their successor to then get into office with Biden and Trump. And to see this moment as Trump and Obama are continuing that conversation.
How awkward.
And with
Kamala, how awkward.
Second gentleman Doug Emhoff there, Vice President.
Doug Left Hook Emhoff is what we call him on our channel because, you know, he beat up on one of his like ex-girlfriends and was sleeping with the nanny. Dude is a pretty bad guy. This is a very awkward scene. Now, Melania just looks very standoffish because 9 times out of 10, Trump is probably talking business and she's just like, here he goes again. Barack is a little too friendly to me, right? I mean, for you to be talking to the ops like this, Barack, you are very friendly with him. Now, maybe they talking fiercely amongst each other. That very well could be. Let's see what the heck is going on here.
Harris there. Jake, the only person we are waiting on is President Biden himself.
That's right. And you know, it is tempting to try to read into what is going on in terms of who stood up for whom and who said hello to whom and who walked over to whom and who did not. We should also remember.
Well, let's look at Bill Clinton tanked Kamala's campaign. Hillary Clinton tanked Kamala's campaign. Barack tanked Kamala's campaign. Even old Doug Emhoff tanked Kamala's campaign. Man, all of them Democrats helped to Kamala's despise or helped her defeat. Isn't that funny? And Trump stands victorious amongst them. I think they've all talked stuff about him, actually. I think this is a very valuable lesson. I think even George Bush talked mess about Trump. He has to stand alone amongst everybody that talked mess. This is like a very good example of life. Stop trying to go into rooms to be liked and stand on what you believe in. no matter if other people like you or not. Because at the end of the day, it's about your life and your lane. And Trump is just as powerful as all those people on there. And in fact, he's got a way better story than all of those presidents on there. Maybe not the first black president, but at the same time, he's got his own history to make. This is a great lesson for y'all. Just stop being likable to everybody because they don't like you no way. Let's go.
Remember that this is a funeral.
Weird.
And people are, generally speaking, trying to behave in a somber and appropriate tone. For evidence of that, just look at the normally
talking to the
backslapping, garrulous Bill Clinton and George W. Bush, both of whom are fairly restrained.
That's Willie Brown's girl.
It is a funeral of a member of their club, the President's Club.
Monica Lewinsky.
Can't be easy for people in that group who have heard nasty things said about them by one or another of the people present.
Nobody want to talk to George Bush.
Saying that Donald Trump is an existential threat to.
You know, if they can put Biden in this picture, then George Bush does not become the worst president in this picture because George Bush was bad. He was bad. They just need to put Joe Biden in there so that George Bush don't look so bad.
Democracy. If
Joe Biden knows where his seating arrangement is.
Vicious things said about Barack Obama and where he was born and on.
Gosh.
But it is a funeral and it is a moment where people try to put aside such grievances for the larger purpose, Anita.
I think you make a good point there, Jake, but it conjured up a memory that I have from Bush 41's funeral when all the former presidents, for whom first families, everybody were seated. George W. Bush was one of the last people to come in the room before the sitting president, of course, and he went and shook every single person's hand of his former club and former first ladies. And again, it does, yes, this is a reverent moment, of course, but it does take a person of character to sort of change that tone.
Interesting.
I just want to, it's not happening right now, but I just want to.
I know CNN right now are so mad that Barack is talking to Donald Trump because, you know, they want to paint this anytime Trump is in front of the camera, they want to paint him as the villain. And so if Barack is sitting and cozying up with him, right now, I have not seen one news clip. But you bet your behind that they're about to start talking mess about Barack Obama because he was cozying up with Donald Trump. You watch. They are literally probably writing the scripts right now. And I don't know how long this has been out, but I'm sure there's probably segments on why was he talking to Donald Trump? Was this all a game and a joke? He should not be talking to Trump after he called him this and that. Watch what I tell you and watch how they start trying to change up on Barack Obama. Just my opinion. Watch what happens because nobody is supposed to like Donald Trump. No one. Not even, you can't even agree with a policy or a nominee pick of his right now. And if you are, they're calling you full-blown MAGA. Watch what's going to happen. I got your black MAGA hat for the black community there, Barack Obama. That's the one right there. Go black MAGA right there. Let's go.
I want to emphasize that until 30 seconds ago, Donald Trump was talking to Barack Obama's ear off.
Yes.
His ear off.
I like seeing that, actually.
Well, I'm not sure how much Barack Obama liked it, but he was being gracious and you know, classy.
Now he's talking to Mike Pence.
And now, of course, he's turned around and he's talking to the man who was Donald Trump's vice president, but was not chosen for this particular time after his life was threatened. Mike Pence's life was threatened on January 6, 2021. But just that moment, because
here's President Joe Biden and first.
Go ahead and get him to a spot, Jill. Get Joe to a spot. Hold her hand tight there, Joe. Did y'all give Joe his pudding? Did y'all give Joe his pudding before he came to the funeral? You know, did you change his diaper? Look, Jill, did you change Joe Biden's diaper before he came to the funeral? Because you don't want to be smelling up the whole entire aisle. The man probably don't know where to sit. Let's go.
I think he has 11 days left as
what a
president
joke
of the United States.
Now George
Obviously,
Bush is not the worst president sitting down.
An eventful year, one that he did not plan for. started the year as
does Kamala speak to
the would-be
her?
Democratic presidential nominee, and we all know what happened after that.
Nobody speaks to
again.
Joe.
You didn't see a particularly warm greeting between the first couple and the second couple, but again, we are at a funeral, so one has to take that into account when trying to read the body language of the individuals there.
All right, well, that was my reaction. I watched maybe like 6 minutes of it, and then I just said, you know what, let me turn this on, because I didn't know what to expect. And I did not expect for Donald Trump and Barack Obama to be talking to one another. That right there, I have to say, I mean, it's a funeral, right? I mean, etiquette is let bygones be bygones for that moment, right? We don't know what they were talking about. Maybe, Donald Trump can shed some light on that. I don't think Barack Obama will. But, maybe they were actually talking, like I said, fiercely to one another. Maybe it just appeared to be friendly, but maybe, because they got egos, right? I mean, presidents of the United States in one room, they talk stuff about each other. Who knows, right? But this is also a valuable lesson to everybody watching this. And I hope you stayed around long enough for you to look at this reaction. Please hit the like button. Also subscribe. And I do weekly live streams as well. These guys all are in this political circle together. Democrats are cozying up with Republicans and vice versa. You got a lot of these Republicans that are going out with Democrats that know each other's families and all these type of things. So don't let this type of stuff break up your family and break up your friendships. I have seen it to where people act very funny when it comes to you having a political view. Personally, myself, I've heard some family members make some comments about why they don't want to come around or certain, holidays or whatever because of their loss that they had this year, or last year, I'm sorry. Just weird stuff because of politics, right? And people get very emotionally tied into this stuff. And they start creating narratives about you because you like a certain candidate, right? Trust me, I know. I went from this guy. It's funny. I can't really speak too much. It's all love at the end of the day. But I went from like this guy that was looked at like, oh, really nice guy, blah, blah, to like, oh my gosh, he likes Donald Trump. And then the narrative changed. Like, oh, like I'm just because I like, free and clear borders and a good economy and all these type of things, I'm the bad guy. So don't let this split up your friendships and your family because you see these people are going to a funeral and they're talking to one another, right? But they're supposed to be the ops. They're supposed to be the enemy. Yeah, but all these people are in different positions than us. Those senators and those people in the House, all those people are in different positions than us. That's the lesson I take from this. I don't take the whole Barack talking to Trump. Oh my gosh. No, you know what I take from this? Don't let these politicians split up y'all relationships. It's just not worth it. It's not. It's not. They're laughing at us at the end of the day. This entire system, when it comes to politics, is meant to divide. And I'm talking on the Republican and the Democrat side. And as long as they're divided, they win. Because then you're depending on them to fix whatever problems that you have or fix whatever America's problems are. And they have you going at each other's throats. They don't want the black man with the white guy or the Italian guy and the black guy together. And they agree on certain things, even if they have different political views. The system doesn't want to see that because it's all meant to divide. So don't let this type of stuff ruin your relationships. It's just not worth it. It's not. Make it entertainment. It's entertainment. And you vote because it's your American right. And if you don't vote, shame on you and shut up whenever you're at a table. Okay? I'm being honest. I've been at a few tables where people have been talking and I strategically will ask them if they voted and they say, oh, no, I don't do that. I don't do politics. I'm not voting. Then you have to be quiet. If you haven't voted, you do not participate in this conversation. That's a different topic. But y'all, believe what you believe, stand on what you stand on, but respectfully disagree. That's all I'm going to say. That's where I'm going to leave it. Shout out to Trump for getting Barack out of his shell. Like, oh, you got to sit next to me. I know you the enemy. I know you the ops, and I know you gonna talk stuff about me when I leave here, but you gonna respect me while I'm here. Let me get up out of here, man. Let me know y'all thoughts below about this interaction. Make sure y'all like and comment on the video, all right? Let me get out of here. Like I say, after every video, this is chess, not checkers. I'm gonna see y'all at work 2 times. See ya.